Hi, I'm Kate. Welcome to Blooms in the Yard. Today I have two main tasks to accomplish, and there's a little bit of overlap between the two. So the first one is I am planting up my spring containers, mostly with the lettuces that I have grown. And the second is that I'm going to be moving around some hellebores and lots of things with hellebores today. So I went to our local nursery. I live walking distance to one of the best nurseries in Kansas City, so it's very dangerous for me. I decided to run and grab some pansies to go, just one flat of pansies to go with my lettuces in all of my spring containers. And while I was there, I ran into these gorgeous hellebores and I couldn't resist. I love them so much. So I went ahead and got these two. Let me show you what I got. This is the Anna's Red. And I find that a lot of hellebores kind of are like one little stalk. Like, I think they take a while to grow. And so sometimes when you get them in the stores, they're just not that big. And I already have to wait so long. So these just looked really good to me. Yes, Anna's Red, Frost Kiss, Anna's Red Hellebore. I have a container on my front porch that I left a hellebore in, put it in the container last spring. It looked good all through summer. I went ahead and left it through the winter, and it actually looked pretty good all through the winter too. Then about a month ago, we had a snow and really cold, and it just killed the whole thing back, and it hasn't started sending out any new growth. So I'm going to remove that. I'm going to plant it in the garden. Hopefully it will come back. I'm going to put this in that pot so that we'll have another hellebore this year. And I will put it in with some lettuces and, some others. Maybe just lettuce, maybe some other stuff too, like the pansies and stuff. Then I just really liked the white on this, and especially like when I saw a bunch of these together, this like droopy petal whiteness, I fell in love with it and I couldn't resist getting one. There was a woman there, she bought almost all of the ones that looked really good of this, and like all of them together on her cart were just amazing. But as this fills in over the years, I think it'll be really pretty, and I just like how bright white it is. This one is Ice and Roses White. So I have 4 hellebores that I'm going to be moving. The one is the one in the pot on my front porch. I need to put it somewhere in the garden. Then I have one that needs to be moved because it's on the side of my yard that's going to be dug up for the storm drain project. So it's going to be dug up anyway. I'm just going to do it now while I'm doing all my hellebores. That one's just starting to poke up. Then I have 2 that are in one spot. They're in kind of a similar spot. I showed them in my last hellebore tour. They're kind of raised up, planted in amongst some boulders. And so they've both struggled quite a bit. So I'm going to go ahead and move those 2 that are in that problem spot that aren't doing well and put them maybe in some other areas where I have hellebores that are doing well. So I do have 4 hellebores that I'm going to be moving. Then the red one is definitely going in the pot on my front porch. I haven't decided yet if the white one is going to go in a pot somewhere, most likely, or finding a place to put it in the ground. So then I have all kinds of pots to plant up with all of these lettuces. And if you've been watching my channel at all, then you probably don't want to hear about them again. But it is the Merlot lettuce, the Gustav salad, the bright green, and the red kale. Oh, 2 other things I grabbed real quick just to throw in some pots. I just got 1 Alyssum and 1 little cabbage, and I'll just see where I end up putting these. So this is the state of that hellebore. I definitely will not make the same mistake next year of leaving it all winter in the pot, because this does not look how I want it to look in February. Let's see. I wonder if it's rotted or if it's okay. think I'm just going to stick it right down there and see what happens. I just had some annual begonias in here last year. Can you tell I like turquoise? Look at this. The pot, my gloves, my sweatshirt, my bucket, and my kneeling pad. I will be sure to take it out in the fall at the latest. So in this pot, I have that Anna's Red Hellebore. I put 2 of the Gustav's salad. That one lettuce doesn't look good, but it'll be fine. Do you ever feel like your stuff gets really beat up when you're potting it up? I put 3 of the Merlot lettuce, 3 pansies, although like this one pansy had 2 different colors in one little pot. So next I'm going to do this container in my potager garden. I'm going to go ahead and put this Hellebore in there. If it starts getting too much sun, I'll either take it out and plant it or just move the pot to a shadier spot. This creeping Jenny, it came out of a pot last year and rooted in, and I left it. I'm going to go ahead and take it out of here and put it in my pot. I'm going to be kind of lazy about this, and I'm just going to throw this potting mix over here in the garden. See, how do I get this in there? I think I'll do 1 red lettuce and 1 green lettuce on each of the 4 sides. One thing I have found, and Linda Vodder talks about this too, plants love to grow in gravel. So this gravel is supposed to be where the plants are not growing, but it's where they want to grow. So last year I had poppies and larkspur and all kinds of stuff growing in this gravel. So pot number 2 is done. I have that Alyssum roses, white hellebore, and then I did 4 of each of the types of lettuce. I did 2 creeping Jenny in opposite corners, and then I did a pansy here and a pansy there. So just 2 pansies. I think it's going to look really nice when the lettuce fills in. The lettuce is looking a little bedraggled right now, but I think it will fill in nicely. And then when the creeping Jenny starts to come out, I think it's going to be really nice. These are the Arborvitaes that I planted in the fall. They did really well through the winter, even though I probably only watered them maybe 3 times and we had a pretty dry winter, but they did pretty well. I'm going to add some of those lettuces in here. I stuck a creeping Jenny in there. I hope the lettuce don't take over those Arborvitaes too much. We'll see how that goes. I got 2 pansies to stick in there. I'm not choosing very spring-like colors today, am I? I'm going for the dramatic. But I know that I had red in here next to this teal trellis, the trellis back here. And the red looked really good. I had some geraniums, red geraniums. Just dug up the creeping Jenny. Forgot about it already. That's kind of how things are with me lately. I'm gonna put it in the back. And here I'm doing this cute little cabbage I got. And the Alyssum, I think. I can't remember if rabbits eat Alyssum, but I guess we'll find out. I don't think I've ever had the rabbits eat my lettuce, which is really strange. I don't know if it's because it's kind of odd, more brightly colored. But last year, I really didn't have any rabbit activity early in the season. They kind of showed up in late spring. This year, they've been busy already, so could be different. Oh. These have gotten a little more leggy. I don't think I started them earlier. I'm not sure what the difference is. It'll all work out. This is the Alyssum. Oh, I have some kale too. I haven't used any kale yet, so I think I'm going to add some of that in here. I'm hoping this ivy kind of revives, so I'm not getting rid of it. I knew it would probably look like this at the end of winter, and I'm hoping it just comes back and looks good again. There's not a lot of planting space with this little trellis in here. So here's this one. I think it'll look nice if that variegated ivy starts growing on this trellis. But again, I'm hoping I can come back out here in a few days and get a picture of it after it's perked up a bit. This is definitely the bunny zone. So you can see everything, almost everything in this area is covered. Almost everything in this area has been eaten down. So if, remembering that I have a heuchera planted here, but I doubt it's going to do anything. I have a lot of trouble with heuchera, but we'll see if the rabbits eat this lettuce. I'm just going to give it a try. It would be beautiful if that red heuchera comes up, but I don't expect it to. I think what I'm going to do with these ones that look like this is cut them down, leave them in the pot, leave them in here for a while and see if they start to look a little bit better. Trying to figure out if I should take this heuchera out. Just gonna stick this in the corner. In here I just did the lettuce, so I just alternated, put the red in the corners and then the greens in between. It would look nice with this hellebore if I uncovered the hellebore. I'm not going to because of the rabbits. I just had this duh moment where I was like, why did I tie these milk cartons to this and make it look all ugly when I could have tied it to a railing anywhere on the deck? So I'm going to move these real quick. These are looking a little bit dry, a little bit of brown, but they're not dead yet. And the squirrels dig in these quite a bit. And they're probably going to dig up some of my lettuce. It's inevitable. Oh. Just realized that I did that wrong. This one I think turned out really pretty. It's not exactly symmetrical because the two kale, and I did that on purpose, but anyway, or not the two kale, the two red lettuce are not, that one's on the outside, this one's on the inside of the pansy, but I'm really happy with this one. And then if you come around the other side, I was out of pansies, so this side only has the lettuce. Okay, I'm on my last pot. Oh shoot, I just saw another pot. That's okay. I'm gonna go ahead and do this one. I'm almost out of stuff. I'm only filling up my pots that are outside over the winter. And a lot of the times I don't take last year's annuals out. I just leave them because what difference does it make, right? It doesn't matter to me. So here is my last pot. And let's see, I used 2 red, 2 Gustav salad, and 2 kale in there. I'll be excited to show you how good these look in just a couple weeks. This is what I have left. My plan is to cut these down and see if they'll regrow a little bit nicer. I think they were just kind of crowded. I have a lot of kale left, and so I actually can use this in the potager garden. I didn't plant my kale yet. I was planning on direct sowing, but I have enough of this left that now I don't have to direct sow. I can just plant these in the garden when the space that I have for them is freed up. Now it's time for me to start digging up the hellebores that need to be moved. Here are the 2 hellebores I dug up. I planted this native sedum last September. I planted one here and one here, and there was a third one here that died right away. So I think I'm good. I don't think I have anything planted here. It's getting hard to remember all the plants. Found a bulb. Starting to grow, that's a good sign. Move it over just a little bit. Okay, so there is the new hellebore planted. I think it will look nice to have these 2 together, although we'll see if the rabbits try to eat that now. It's been a few days since I filmed this, and a lot of the hellebores are really starting to come into their own now, so I am going to include some updated, beautiful photos of the hellebores. But yeah, I'm trying to plant the hellebores that I'm moving next to hellebores that are doing well. So this one's doing extremely well. I love the kind of striped red and white petals. So just on the other side of the tree is where I planted the one that really, it only has about one future leaf coming up. So hopefully in time it will start to do well here. I just have one hellebore left to move, and it is over here by my waterfall. This is the area that will be removed for the storm drain project. So it definitely needs to be moved. Everything here will be moved. But you can see I've got one coming up there, one coming up here. So I wouldn't be moving this if I didn't need to. That one I just planted, I left that leaf on because honestly I wouldn't even be able to see the plant at all if I didn't leave that. I'll probably do the same with this one. This is the one that was a baby from my neighbor, so it's doing pretty well. You can maybe see that this is where I have 3 other hellebores planted. I'm going to do one here. This is my Himalayan white birch. And I have a lot of creeping Jenny in here. So I am going to have to dig some of that up. Well, that's it for today. I got all of my hellebores moved that I needed to move, and I got all of my spring pots planted with lettuces and kale and pansies and a few other fun things from the store. I have lots more projects coming up. In fact, a big project I've been working on with the grill, a little patio for our grill. I changed it up and it's been taking me a couple of weeks, so it's just about done, and I think that will be our next video. See you soon.